Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This is biology session, excretory products and their elimination. This is part 4. In the part 3, we have discussed about accessory excretory organs like how skin acts as excretory organ, how lungs acts as excretory organ, and liver acts as excretory organ, and also about the kidney. The structural and functional unit of kidney is called a nephron. So this nephron plays a very important role in the process of excretion. Means it is the structural as well as the functional unit of a kidney. So what are the parts of nephron? The total nephron is divided into two main parts. What are they? Malpighian body or renal capsule, and the second part is secretory tubule. The secretory tubule is divided into again three parts. What are they? They are proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, and distal convoluted tubule. Okay, the Malpighian body is nothing but this Bowman's capsule, okay, which is formed by the network of capillaries. What are they? Afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. What is efferent arteriole? The artery which is entering into the nephron is called afferent arteriole, and the artery which is coming out of the nephron, it is called efferent arteriole. Okay, and this efferent arteriole enters inside. Okay, it comes out and it form the peritubular capillaries, vasa recta we said, no? So they open into the renal vein, renal artery entering into the nephron, and the renal vein carries that filtered blood. Okay, so here how the glomerulus is formed? By the network of capillaries formed by afferent arteriole. Okay, the process of this filtration or formation of urine involves four main steps like filtration, reabsorption, secretion, and finally excretion. Okay children, let us proceed. Are you ready? Let us proceed children. Mechanism of formation of urine. How urine is formed, how the filtration takes place. The urine is formed in the nephron by the following four stages. Mainly three main stages. They are glomerular filtration or ultrafiltration, and the second one is tubular reabsorption, and the third one is tubular secretion. Okay, the formation of urine involves four stages. Number 1, glomerular filtration. Number 2, tubular reabsorption. Number 3, tubular secretion. The last one is concentration of urine. Additionally, I am adding here concentration of urine. Okay, so first, so this is the filtration of blood. As I told you, the kidneys are the main blood purifying organs. Okay, our blood gets purified, filtered in the kidneys. Glomerular filtration. What is glomerular filtration? The blood flows into the glomerulus under the influence of pressure due to the narrowness of efferent arteriole as a result it undergoes pressure filtration it is called, or ultrafiltration. The waste molecules, nutrient molecules and water are filtered out and enter the Bowman's capsule. So this is the Bowman's capsule. So actually what happens here, the glomerulus is a tuft of capillaries formed by efferent arteriole. Tuft of capillaries found in the Bowman's capsule. So this is the Bowman's capsule. Okay, the tuft of capillaries form the glomerulus. Okay, so in it there are fine filter pores. There are millions of, so you can see here not clearly mentioned, but minute pores when you observe under the microscope, they possess millions of the millipore filters are present, okay, that separate the red blood cells from the plasma. They separate the red blood cells from the plasma. The blood that enters into the glomerulus is under a very high pressure from the afferent renal arteriole. It is under high pressure, okay, in the renal arteriole. Okay, children. So afferent renal arteriole, it is under the high pressure because forming the capillary is minute, means they become very narrow, so that the pressure will be high. So that pressure itself acts as the medium for the filtration. Okay. So tubular reabsorption. Before going to tubular reabsorption more, we will know here what happens means during the filtration, the filtrate it has got the urea, glucose, various salts and the proteins of plasma and large quantities of water. All these are filtered. Okay, means useful substances are not filtered through the filter bed formed by the glomerulus. Okay, the lining of the Bowman's capsule has a single layer of flat epithelial cells through which blood is filtered into the lumen of the tubule. The filtrate formed in the tubule is known as glomerular or nephric filtrate. Okay, in the glomerular filtration, whatever the filtrate is formed, it is called a glomerular filtrate or nephric filtrate. What does it contains? It contains urea, large amounts of water, glucose, amino acids and various minerals. Okay, then the ultrafiltration in the glomerulus is a passive process. Now what happens? First general filtration, then ultrafiltration. It is a passive process, means it does not utilize any energy. The nephric filtrate does not have blood proteins as big sized molecules and not filtered through the lining of the Bowman's capsule. Okay, blood proteins are not, hemoglobin is not filtered. It is estimated that the effective filtration pressure by which the blood is filtered is about 10 millimeter of Hg, 10 mm of Hg, and at this pressure 125 ml of nephric filtrate is formed in the two kidneys after every minute. For every minute 125 ml of filtrate is formed. What filtrate? Nephric filtrate. Okay, it is also estimated that about 1/5 of the total volume of the blood plasma flowing through the kidneys is filled out as a glomerular filtrate. Okay, so the filtration occurs across the membranes made of the glomerular capillary wall and the inner membrane of the Bowman's capsule. Okay, so here once again you can see here, okay, the glomerular capillary wall and the inner membrane of the Bowman's capsule, the filtration occur. Okay, so here the plasma membrane of this glomerulus helps in it. The pores of this filtrate membrane are impermeable to large molecules or particles. The large particles like blood cells and protein macromolecules do not normally enter into the glomerular filtrate. Okay, only unwanted, the smaller molecules like glucose, urea, creatine, amino acids and mineral salts are filtered into the Bowman's capsule in concentrations more or less similar to their respective concentrations in the plasma. Okay, only unwanted substances. Therefore, the filtrate almost resembles the protein free plasma in composition and osmotic pressure. Okay, so here only concept is given. Okay, so everything is given in your book, please read. Okay, so let us proceed the second stage. What is that second stage of filtration? Tubular reabsorption. Tubular reabsorption. What is tubular reabsorption? It occurs by two ways. One is active and second one is passive reabsorption. So here the filtrate from glomerular is also called primary urine, which almost equal to the blood in chemical composition except the presence of blood cells. Remaining total chemical composition is similar to blood. Okay, that's why it is called also called primary urine, not final. Okay, so it passes into the second part, that is immediately after that glomerulus. What is that part? Proximal convoluted tubule. This primary urine passes into the proximal convoluted tubule, and useful substances in primary urine are reabsorbed into peritubular network. Okay, so it passes into the proximal convoluted tubule. Only useful substances in the primary urine are reabsorbed into the peritubular network. So the peritubular capillaries around proximal convoluted tubule reabsorb all the useful components of primary urine. What are they? Glucose, amino acids, vitamin C, potassium, calcium, sodium chloride, and 75% of water is reabsorbed. Okay, so that's why we are calling tubular reabsorption. It is called tubular reabsorption. Okay, the important substances like glucose, amino acid are reabsorbed actively. So here see the two types of absorption takes place. I said active absorption. So these are the substances which are absorbed. This is the entire the proximal convoluted tubule, means from here to here. This is distal convoluted tubule and this is loop of Henle. So in the proximal convoluted tubule, glucose, amino acids, protein, vitamin, lactate, urea, uric acid, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, chloride and bicarbonate and water. These are all the substances which are in minute concentration, which are required, they are reabsorbed. So among them glucose, some amino acids, some proteins, some vitamin C, okay, and some salts, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, chloride, carbonates, bicarbonates and water, they are reabsorbed. So this lactate, urea and uric acid, they are not much required. Okay, so rapid reabsorption continues even when the concentration of the substances is far low in the glomerular filtrate than in the blood. Also they are reabsorbed. Some of the substances are reabsorbed from the tubules slowly by the physical process of diffusion, and this passive reabsorption occurs only when their concentration in the glomerular filtrate exceed their respective concentrations in the blood. Means when their concentration is more compared to the blood, then they are reabsorbed. Okay, hence these substances can never be totally reabsorbed from the urine. Okay, that's why they are present. What are they? Urea, ammonia, creatine, ketone. These are all they are not reabsorbed. Okay, they are always retained in the urine to maintain the osmotic balance. In proximal convoluted tubule, most of the water re-enters into the blood capillaries. As we said, 75% of water. Okay, about 80%, 75 to 80% of water is reabsorbed here. So glucose, amino acids and vitamin C are also reabsorbed back in the proximal convoluted tubule. But this is an active reabsorption. Okay, while the absorption of water is purely passive, there is no energy is required. Active absorption, passive absorption, I am using terms here. Active absorption means where energy is utilized. Passive absorption means without utilizing energy, the absorption takes place. Okay, about 70% of the sodium and 75% of potassium and large amounts of calcium are also reabsorbed here by the active reabsorption. Where? In the proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, and in the distal convoluted tubule, second one is distal convoluted tubule. So the absorption of water continues in the loop of Henle. Then in the distal convoluted tubule or descending loop of Henle, descending loop of Henle, this one, 5% of water comes out due to osmosis because of high osmotic pressure of the medullary extracellular fluid. Okay, the sodium enters the tubules and it increases the hypertonicity of the nephric filtrate. So it becomes more concentration. So the ascending loop of Henle medium, that ascending loop, okay, it is having two loops, no? Descending loop and ascending loop. The ascending loop of Henle, sodium and potassium is reabsorbed actively and also some amount of chloride ions also reabsorbed actively. There is no reabsorption of water. Water is coming out here. See, there is no reabsorption of water as it is as its walls are thick and impermeable to water. Water reabsorption does not occur here. So the filtrate now becomes hypotonic as compared to the plasma. Okay, when it flows through this part of nephron. So now in the distal convoluted tubule, I am explaining detail. Okay, in the distal convoluted tubule, what happened? Distal convoluted tubule, there is an active reabsorption. Energy is utilized. So active reabsorption of which ions? Sodium ions from the filtrate, and the process of diffusion also reabsorbs some chloride ions. Okay, large amounts of water are also reabsorbed and small amounts of this bicarbonate also reabsorbed and make the nephric filtrate isotonic. Isotonic means same concentration. Okay, this isotonic fluid enters the collecting tubule and here it is more concentrated due to the further reabsorption of water. Water is reabsorbed. Okay. Now the step 3, tubular secretion. So after reabsorption in the proximal convoluted tubule region, the urine travels through the loop of Henle into distal convoluted tubule. So in the distal convoluted tubule, what happens? Some other waste like extra salt ions of potassium, sodium, chloride and H plus hydrogen ions, okay, secretes from the peritubular capillaries into distal convoluted tubule. So it occurs mostly in the distal convoluted tubule, which is also surrounded by peritubular capillaries. Peritubular capillaries means that only. So those efferent arterioles will come out. Okay, they form vasa recta. Okay, so this maintains a proper concentration and the pH of the urine. Okay, the pH determines the acidity or basicity. Okay, slightly alkaline, uric acid is present a little bit. Okay, so the pH is maintained by the concentration. So smaller amount of tubular secretion also takes place in the area of proximal convoluted tubule. So here, okay, what is excretion? Excretion is equal to filtration minus reabsorption plus secretion. Okay, first filtration, then reabsorption. The reabsorption is taking place in the tubular portion. Okay, that's why we are calling it as tubular reabsorption. So now tubular secretion. In addition to the reabsorption, the renal tubules also secrete into their lumen many substances like urea, creatine, okay, uric acid, para-amino hippuric acid. These are all, and most of the potassium ions eliminated in the mammalian urine are secreted by the distal convoluted tubule. Distal convoluted tubule. Okay, and the collecting ducts in the exchange to the reabsorption of sodium ions, Na plus. Okay, and these substances are then removed from the body along with the urine. So this tubular secretion is much significant in marine fishes and desert amphibians because these animals possess no glomerulus. There is no glomerulus in those animals. Which animals? Amphibians and desert animals. Okay, desert amphibians and marine fishes. Okay, because they lack glomerulus in their nephrons. So they form urine by secreting solutes such as urea, creatinine, and mineral ions into their tubules. So tubular secretion is of less importance in mammals. Thus, urine is formed in the nephron by a combination of glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, and finally tubular secretion. Okay. Next, concentration of urine. What is concentration of urine? 75% of water content of nephric filtrate is reabsorbed in the region of proximal convoluted tubule. Means more than 50%, 75% out of 100 it is reabsorbed, the water is. So there itself the concentration is increased. Next, 10% of water passes out of filtrate through osmosis in the area of loop of Henle. From loop of Henle, the walls are thick, so there is no chance of reabsorption. Moreover, some 10% of water comes out, passes out of the filtrate. Okay, now 85% over. Next, the further concentration of urine takes place in the area of collecting tubes in the presence of a hormone. What is that hormone? Vasopressin. This is the hormone which is secreted by pituitary gland, endocrine gland. So this is called antidiuretic hormone, ADH. So it helps in the concentration of urine by reabsorbing, helps in the reabsorption of water. Okay. So the hormone is secreted only when concentrated urine is to be passed out. So this hormone, feedback mechanism, this hormone is produced only when concentrated urine is to be passed out. Okay. The absence of vasopressin hormone produces dilute urine. Okay, it is one condition called diabetes insipidus. When this hormone is not secreted in proper amount, what happen? More urine, more dilute means with more water is excreted. So the hormone action maintains osmotic concentration of the body fluids. Osmotic concentration of the body fluids. So deficiency of vasopressin causes excessive repeated dilute urination called diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus. Okay. So ureters. Now the urine is formed. Okay. by means of three main steps. What are they? Glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, and tubular secretion. After that, concentration of urine occur. So there are a pair of whitish, narrow, distensible and muscular tubes of 30 centimeter length. So each ureter arises from the hilus of the kidney and it moves downward and obliquely opens into the urinary bladder. Ureters carries urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder. The movement of the urine in the ureter is through peristaltic movement, wave-like movement. The urine is formed here. This is the pelvis region. From the pelvis region, a pair of tubes, okay, they are called the ureters, hilus region. They opens into urinary bladder. Now urinary bladder. Urinary bladder is a median, pear-shaped and distensible sac that occurs in the pelvic part of the abdomen. In the abdomen, it is made up of transitional epithelium, so elastic in nature. So it stores the urine brought by two ureters, those tubes. The storage capacity of the urinary bladder is 300 to 800 ml. And finally, urethra. Urethra is a tube that takes urine from urinary bladder to outside. It's an opening. Excretory system opens out through urethra. The opening of the urinary bladder into urethra is guarded by a ring of muscles, or they are called sphincter muscles. Urethra is 4 centimeter long in females and about 20 centimeter long in males. Its opening is separate in the female, but it is common with reproductive tract in males. That's why the male system is called urinogenital duct. In males, that urethra is also called urinogenital duct. Means both urine as well as the spermatozoa will be eliminated out through common passage. Okay. Last, the process of elimination of urine is called as micturition. Okay. The urine is temporarily stored in the bladder. Then there are two sets of circular sphincter muscles in the bladder. When the bladder is filling up, both these muscles are contracted or constricted to the exit is closed. Okay. When these muscles constrict, what happens? The exit is closed. However, as the pressure of the urine increases, the walls of the bladder are stretched and this triggers off an automatic reflex action which causes the upper sphincter to relax. Okay, but the lower sphincter is under the control of brain, so urine can still be retained until this muscle is relaxed. Lower sphincter muscle is relaxed. Okay, so the control of urination is not possessed by very young children. It is a reflex action, but is gradually learned. Okay. Okay, children. I hope you understood. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.